Welcome to the high stakes table. Day 10 has officially opened the quarterfinal stage in Melbourne, where the margins for error become razor thin and the price of victory rises sharply. We are talking about golden tickets to the semi-finals here. Only those with deep reserves of experience, ice-cold composure, and the elite ability to cash in during crucial moments can separate themselves from the pack. It is the difference between the players who advance and those whose bankroll just hit zero. Carlos Alcaraz delivered another statement performance, flexing his net worth by defeating Alex de Minaur 7-5, 6-2, 6-1 to book his VIP spot in the semifinals. The first set was a bidding war, the most competitive of the match, with de Minaur using his premium speed and defensive assets to stay level and force expensive long rallies. He competed with grit and pushed Alcaraz in the early negotiations, but once the Spaniard secured that opening set, the market momentum shifted decisively in his favor. Alcaraz began striking the ball with the freedom of a billionaire, increasing his aggression while maintaining a luxury level of control and consistency. His forehand was the heavy artillery doing most of the damage, and his world-class movement allowed him to dominate every extended exchange on the court. From the second set onward, Alcaraz was the chairman of the board, producing a clean, composed performance that underlined exactly why he remains the most valuable player of the tournament so far. Turning to the second quarterfinal showdown, we saw the towering Alexander Zverev secure his place in the semifinals with a 4-set victory over Lerner Tien in a contest that was physically bruising and tough as nails. Two razor-tight tie-breaks highlighted just how competitive the market was, especially in the early stages where every point was a battle. Tien showed the heart of a lion and massive belief, doubling down on aggressive tennis even when the pressure was at its absolute peak. But Zverev's veteran experience ultimately paid dividends. The German's serve was a weapon of mass destruction, particularly in the tiebreaks where it gifted him free points and total control. Zverev also generated noticeably higher shot speed, forcing Tien into rushed costly decisions and bankruptcy-level unforced errors. While Tien's serve struggled to hold value at times, his tournament remains a major breakthrough. He is no longer a futures investment, he is a blue-chip player who belongs at this level right now. On the women's side of the bracket, Aryna Sabalenka produced a performance of pure dominance, a commanding display to halt Iva Jovic's impressive run. Winning 6-3, 6-0, she left zero room for doubt about who owns the court. From the opening bell, the world number one dictated the terms of the deal with far greater pace, ferocious intensity, and unwavering confidence. Sabalenka consistently took the ball early, blasting through the court and finishing points decisively, simply overwhelming Jovic with her raw power. The key difference in their assets came down to the biggest points of the match. Jovic created 5 break opportunities but couldn't cash a single check, while Sabalenka was clinical, winning 4 of her 8 chances. That kind of efficiency swung the momentum instantly. For Jovic, the tournament ends here, but at such a young age, her performance across the week confirms she has a very bright and profitable future ahead. Against the very best, however, the massive step up in class and level was painfully evident. One of the biggest shocks of the tournament arrived as Alina Svitolina absolutely dismantled Coco Gauff 6-1, 6-2 in a stunning quarterfinal performance. From the very first game, Svitolina played with crystal clarity and purpose, striking the ball cleanly, stealing time away, and finishing points with executive confidence. She racked up a high portfolio of winners while keeping her unforced errors remarkably low, showing the perfect balance between aggression and risk control. Gauff, on the other hand, faced a market crash. She had a brutal day, struggling to find any rhythm and leaking errors from both wings like a sinking ship. Her serve offered almost zero resistance, rolling out the red carpet for Svitolina to step in and dictate every term of the match. It was a complete luxury class performance from Svitolina versus a surprisingly flat outing from Gauff, with the contrast between their levels impossible to ignore. Carlos Alcaraz versus Alexander Zverev is shaping up to be one of those semifinals that feels impossible to predict a true clash of titans. Their head-to-head portfolio is dead even at 6-6, and almost every transaction between them has been competitive, physical, and packed with wild momentum swings. Alcaraz enters the arena as the slight favorite, backed by his current stock value and the way he has been dominating opponents with his lethal forehand movement and ability to change the rhythm of the deal mid-rally. That said, this is his first ever semifinal at the Australian Open, so handling the magnitude of the moment and the crushing pressure will be the ultimate test. Zverev holds the advantage of vintage experience. He knows how to manage long, grueling negotiations, and when his serve is firing, he is extremely hard to break. If he keeps his error count in the green and dictates with his backhand, he can absolutely push Alcaraz deep into a 5-set war of attrition. Still, over the long haul, Alcaraz's creativity, lightning speed, and fighting spirit might just be the deciding factors that close the deal. The first semi-final sets the stage for a compelling and emotionally charged showdown between Elina Svitolina and Aryna Sabalenka. It is Ukraine versus Belarus, a heavyweight clash. Off the court, the political context is heavy and unavoidable. Svitolina is unlikely to offer a handshake, a consistent stance she has held against Belarusian players since the war began. On the court, Sabalenka holds a massive 5-1 head-to-head advantage, largely due to her superior firepower and ability to dictate with her serve and first strike tennis. However, Svitolina arrives with her stock at an all-time high, playing in outstanding form. She is playing aggressive yet disciplined tennis, defending her assets extremely well and converting pressure into total control. If Svitolina can absorb the pace and extend these rallies, she has a real chance to make this match tight, expensive, and unforgettable. As the Australian Open pushes relentlessly into the critical final stretch, the safety net has been completely removed. While the titans of the sport remain in the hunt, the once massive gap separating the heavy favorites from the hungry challengers has effectively vanished into thin air. A wave of fresh contenders has fought tooth and nail to stake their claim on the big stage. You can feel the surging confidence and unwavering belief rippling through every corner of the remaining draw. Suddenly, every single showdown carries the immense weight and intensity of a championship final. From this point forward, it is all about mastering the suffocating pressure, seizing those split-second opportunities, and possessing the grit to survive the most grueling days of the tournament. That is exactly the kind of high-stakes drama and relentless action that Day 10 of the Australian Open brought to the table. If you are enjoying this coverage, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay in the loop. I will catch you all in the next one tomorrow.